We finished part 3 of this walk at one end of the Wast Hill Tunnel in the Worcestershire countryside, and we'll start the fourth and final part at the other end in the sprawling southern suburbs of the second city, before making our way via the Bournville chocolate factory to Worcester Bar at Gas Street Basin. Although you're overlooked by 3 tower blocks, after diving down these steps to the canal, you're in a different world. It's dark, a bit eerie, and you're enveloped by trees and birdsong as a boat emerges from the northeast portal. Work on the tunnel began in 1794, with navvies having to endure difficult wet conditions caused by groundwater and problematic geology. However, the project's doubters were proved wrong when, 10 million bricks later, the tunnel was completed in March 1797. Also known at times as the West Hill or King's Norton Tunnel, the Wast Hill Tunnel is 2,726 dead straight yards long and requires 16 ventilation shafts. It's the 6th longest in use on the current canal system. An information board on the offside to prevent it being splattered with graffiti explains how the tunnel's tugboat system worked. This pipe is distributing soft Welsh water from the Elan Valley to the citizens of Birmingham. Another one crosses the canal at Bridge 71, where modern industry has taken the place of an old brickworks. Notice these red hatches on many of the bridges. They're fire doors that were originally inserted into the brickwork so that the fire service could access a reliable source of water when Birmingham was being blitzed. King's Norton, where the canal reached in 1796, boasts an elegant toll house which has been restored after an arson attack. It's also worth visiting the Guillotine Stop Lock, which is a little way along the Stratford-upon-Avon Canal. You can enjoy pizza while gazing at the buildings opposite, where Sherborne Paper Mill once stood. A little further away, near the old Lifford Mill, there's a reservoir built by the Canal Company in 1815 to compensate for water loss to the canal. The River Ray, which acted as the mill stream, is some way down there. The landscape becomes increasingly urban. There's an interesting variety of graffiti, some of which is rather good, but it's an eclectic mix. Just in case you were wondering, the double bridges indicate where the Midland Railway goods branch once operated. Just before Bridge 77 there was a brass foundry and the Endurance Ammunition Works, which closed in 1910. Luckily part of the site is now occupied by the Attic Brew Company if you fancy a swift half of craft ale. Beyond the bridge the world turns purple, as this is Bournville, where George and Richard Cadbury relocated their chocolate business in 1879. Formerly a greenfield site on the outskirts of the city, Bournville derives from the name of a local stream, with Ville added as a nod to the high quality of continental chocolate. The new factory in a garden offered far better working and living conditions, and the location, next to the canal, had excellent transport links. In 1893, Cadbury's purchased another 120 acres and built a spacious and well-designed model village with schools, parks and recreation facilities. And, as Quakers, you won't find any public houses. At the far end of the station you cross Bournville Lane Aqueduct, which suffered severe bomb damage in 1941, and Bournville Visitor Moorings. You actually cross the Bourne at these narrows, and the company's waterside wharf occupied much of the offside of the canal from here to Bridge 77A, which was built in 1925 to carry goods by rail from the main factory to the wharf. The landscape soon becomes pleasantly tree-lined, and although the cross-city line continues to run parallel with the canal towards the city centre, here it is mostly out of sight. You reach Sally Oak Junction, where the Dudley No. 2 canal once joined, near to where that narrowboat is. This was an important connection since coal could be delivered from the Black Country without paying tolls to the Birmingham Canal navigations. Traffic, however, relied on the unreliable Lapel Tunnel, which finally and permanently collapsed in 1917. The canal is, however, being restored by the Lapel Canal Trust, although it's had to be realigned due to these offices and a rather large Sainsbury's. You can walk along the new line, but one day you might be able to cruise along it. This is the aerial aqueduct. The name refers to the adjacent aerial works that once manufactured cycles, motorcycles and cars, but which has now been replaced by student accommodation and the A38. In the distance you can see the Joseph Chamberlain Memorial Clock Tower, built between 1905 and 1909 at 325 feet. It's the tallest freestanding clock tower in the world, and the probable inspiration for local lad J.R.R. Tolkien's Eye of Sauron, which any nerd will tell you is the Dark Lord's primary fortress in The Lord of the Rings. For a while, green and pleasant land returns, but the railway continues to keep close company. There's evidence that Bridge 82 stood on the footprint of a Roman road and fort, but you really wouldn't know it. Birmingham University, founded in 1900 as Britain's first civic university taking students equally from all backgrounds, is now on one side of the canal, with the university's medical school and Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Europe's largest single-site teaching hospital, on the other side of the tracks at University Station. There's a pleasant winding hole just before the Vale footbridge that crosses to the University Student Village. And the approach to Edgbaston Tunnel is overshadowed by this massive embankment leading to the Church Road Railway Tunnel, which opened in 1876. At 315 feet, the Edgbaston Tunnel is a tiddler when compared to the vast Wast Hill Tunnel, but it's the only one on the canal to have a towpath, and this was widened in 2018 to make it safer for pedestrians and the large number of cyclists. Guided into the city centre by an impressive brick wall, you reach Salvage Turn, where shops and restaurants have replaced wharfs and basins. Straight ahead is Worcester Bar at Gas Street Basin. Originally the bar was a 7'3" barrier between the BCN and the upstart Worcester and Birmingham Canal. Goods had to be physically transferred over to boats on the other side. However, by Act of Parliament in 1815, a lock was built with toll offices on either side. Today the basin is a tourist attraction, but if you venture out onto Gas Street, where the city's first gas lighting was located to better enable the basin to operate 24 hours a day, you'll find the restored headquarters of the Worcester and Birmingham Canal Company, an appropriate place to end this 29-mile walk, which has taken in 5 tunnels, 58 locks, many wharfs and a great deal of history. Check out my other walks along the Oxford and Stratford canals, Grand Union Canal and Birmingham Canal navigations. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon on another towpath.